doesn't come from the sun, it comes from your body heat. In the winter I've been in a place where the sun's in my face. I've been cold, but I haven't felt a shiver. New friends I have made are hot weathered and fast. Thinking of you feels more like nostalgia when I find my reflection at the bottom of my water bowl. I look thirsty, I should call ya. Drum words you're conversing. There's a clock on my wall I can read, but it's small compared to the clock of my breathing, which will shake with my grandfather's grace and move up and down with my father's worries. At home. Now when I meet them I consider them friends, but you think that I won't when my house is infested.
And I'm going to minimize that so I don't have to look at the fact that we're still dropping. But it's still... If you're joining us on the stream this week, I'm sorry. We're still not there.
No, we're here.
No, you know what I mean. It's still not there and getting our internet fixed. They are... Sending somebody to our house.
It should be functional next decade.
Yeah, the next decade it should be functional. I'm not gonna lie. I'm already done with people saying I'll see you next decade.
I mean, are you ready for the last decade of humanity, Curtis?
I've been ready for that for years.
Well, it's coming.
Yep. But yeah, no, I'm already done with people being like, "Oh yeah, it's the last decade." Or no, like it's or like I haven't seen you in a decade. Ha 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 ha. You know, that kind of thing.
That's why I'm going with the joke of, are you ready for the last decade of humanity?
Yeah.
Just go dark with it.
Just go dark.
Yeah.
Mostly because like you already get tired of people being like, I haven't seen you since last year. Like, yeah.
I haven't seen you this decade.
Yeah, I haven't seen you in a decade. In 2000 it was, wow, I haven't seen you since last millennia. Like, people are so fucking witty. No,
I haven't seen you since yesterday.
I know, right? Well, if you are joining us on the stream, welcome to Clinically Inane. We are a nerdy podcast out of Seattle. I'm Curtis. That's Boyd.
Mostly.
And we have a couple things we want to get through today. I want to know first, do you want to talk Star Wars or do you want to do our lists first? I almost want to talk Star Wars first because then we can, if we go over in the end on the lists, it's not that big of a deal to me.
Yeah.
And it'll give us a little bit more time on them because I feel like I could spend more time on that.
Yeah. I don't know if I actually finished my music list.
I don't have 10. I don't. I have 6.
Okay.
But that's because a lot of the new music this year that came out this year was actually, no, I am missing one. I know I'm missing one. That I'm going to add right now. Literally. No, I'll just remember it. I'm not going to type with my giant clicky fucking keyboard. But I didn't like my music list is short, but we'll get to that.
Well, no, like I don't think I have my music list on me.
Oh, really?
So I'm trying to remember all of them in my head now.
Yeah. Well, that's whose fault is that?
Mine.
Yep. But I think we should talk Star Wars first.
Yeah.
We'll come back to the lists because, like I said, I think I could spend more time on that.
I just felt my entire stomach drop. You mentioned the list. I'm like, shit.
I saw the look in your face.
Yeah.
Like, we'll watch back the video and just watch you go.
Lists?
Oh, lists?
But Star Wars.
Star Wars. So we saw Rise of Skywalker.
Yep.
Last night. I'm still processing it a bit.
It is.
It is literally the end to the series.
Yeah.
It's not the end of Star Wars,
but it's the end to
the Skywalker saga.
The trilogy of trilogies.
The trilogy of trilogies.
Yeah.
And now that is not to say it is the trilogy to end all trilogies. It is a trilogy of trilogies.
No.
The Skywalker saga. And
I mean, it definitely wraps up some things that definitely put this to the end of that trilogy.
Yeah.
And that, yeah.
Well, here's the thing. Like, I know the Last Jedi is a pretty strong sticking point with people on the internet.
Yep.
I love the Last Jedi.
Enjoy it. I really like it.
I think it's much like. So I was thinking about it the other day. Empire Strikes Back, when it came out, was much maligned. Like, people were like, "This isn't what Star Wars is." Blah blah blah. Like in 1980, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, if you go online, you can find reviews of it.
I mean, I would argue that
you can find reviews just tearing it apart, and people like fans angry about it.
I think at this point, there's only been one movie that people haven't called "This is not Star Wars." Star Wars: A New Hope.
Yeah, A New Hope. Yeah.
I mean, I remember Phantom Menace getting that.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing.
The whole prequel trilogy.
Here's the thing. The prequels suck. There's just not any way around it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're just bad movies.
Yeah.
Yes, they add to the lore of Star Wars. They add some cool characters.
Mm-hmm.
We get people like Qui-Gon Jinn, Darth Maul,
young Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Ewan McGregor's great turn as Obi-Wan Kenobi. The movies are bad.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is. And then you get into, but then in the in the original trilogy, when Empire came out, like, everyone hated it.
Yeah.
And now it's arguably the most loved.
Yeah.
Out of all of the Star Wars movies. Like when people talk about like what's your favorite Star Wars movie, even like now more often than not it is Empire or A New Hope. It's one of those two.
Yeah.
I honestly think The Last Jedi is right there with Empire for me.
Same.
I think it's like it has some moments where it falls down a little bit. It's not as well made of a movie as Empire is. Mm-hmm. However, from like it's probably one of my favorites.
Yeah.
And I honestly think the more I think about it, the more I think that Rise of Skywalker is a lot of Disney and J.J. Abrams trying to be like, oh, no, we're sorry.
Oh, for Last Jedi.
For The Last Jedi.
Yeah, like there's an entire relationship that's just abandoned.
Yeah. I'm sitting here waiting for it. And there's even a line in it where I was just like, oh, we're throwing that in there, like just to be like, we're clearly defining this.
Yeah.
As we're abandoning this relationship.
Yep.
And there's, which by the way, you were also wrong about one thing that we talked about last night. The question that I had.
Oh.
Yeah, J.J. Abrams has come out and said that there is a definitive answer, and it is not the one that you gave. And it is not one that is shared in the movie.
Interesting.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like...
Now I'm curious what it is.
I'll tell you afterward.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like Rise of Skywalker...
Because the answer... from the movie, the answer I felt I got was that.
Yeah, it tracked.
Yeah.
That tracked. It wasn't.
Okay.
There's I feel like Rise of Skywalker tried to backpedal a lot.
From Last Jedi.
Mm-hmm. Where like Last Jedi made bold choices. It did. It made bold choices to move characters and the story forward.
Yep.
And much like there's the criticism of Force Awakens as being a retelling of A New Hope.
Yeah.
I feel very much that Rise of Skywalker is a retelling of Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
It's almost it's
I mean, especially the third act.
Especially the third act is very much almost beat for beat the same. Yeah. Which, you know what? There are going to be some people on the internet who are just like, that's exactly what I wanted. Mm-hmm. And it's not what I wanted. It isn't.
No.
And the more I think about it, I think I'm a little just disappointed.
That's fair.
There's some great scenes in it. There's some great moments in this.
Yeah, that's as much as you can criticize the prequels.
Yeah,
they didn't try to just recreate.
No, they tried to make it more adult while being more cartoony. They're like, no. Star Wars isn't about space wizards who are actually space samurais, and this is a Western.
Yeah,
which is what fucking A New Hope is. It's bless you. It is space wizard samurais in a Western. That is what A New Hope is.
I love space westerns.
Yeah, so do I. That's why, like, The Mandalorian is succeeding.
It's a space western.
It's a fucking space western. It
doesn't have space wizards yet, but it's a space.
It is very much a space western. Yes. But there's something about I love that. The first and then the prequels, what they tried to be like, no, this is actually about governmental control and taxation regulations and stuff like that. And it's like, no, it's not. And also the first one the prequels have some pretty racist alien caricatures.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's make the junk trade slaver Watto, let's give him a giant hooked nose and make him greedy for gold.
Yeah.
That's not racist. And let's also make the Trade Federation all Asian.
I do appreciate also like the new stuff is getting even further away from so many humanoid aliens.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. Gave us some weird looking dudes.
Which is great.
Yeah. But I don't know. I just feel like it's I will say that like the first act of the Rise of Jedi is so fucking frenetic and fast paced.
That opening bit, I felt like I was over caffeinated.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I wanted it to. I was like, God, fucking slow down.
Well,
man.
I mean, because there's kind of three major storylines that follow that point. And it's doing this 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 2, 3, 1, 1, 3, 3, 3.
Yeah.
When it should have just gone 1, 2, 1,
yeah.
3.
Yeah. Like, slow down.
It was playing a fiddle, not a violin.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. That's a good way of putting it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was very much so.
Very frenetic.
Yeah. Very, very frenetic. And then the second act slows and you're just kind of like, okay. And then the third act is Return of the Jedi.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and I mean, like, because as we get to the second act, two of the storylines have merged together.
Correct.
And so now we're down to 2 storylines. Towards the end, we're down to 1.
Yeah.
And everyone, but it just felt so like. I think part of my problem was just how much it was jumping. Like, not even falling through storylines, it was the bouncing all around between them constantly and obsessively. And you're just going nonstop, and you can't really sit down and never sit with a single storyline. You never get a chance to actually talk to someone and to see what's going on with a single idea.
Yeah, exactly. That's
That's the best way I could put it.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're absolutely right. And a lot of the things in it feel very much like I saw a line from a review earlier that like I just sat through the cinematic equivalent of a subtweet of The Last Jedi.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
there are all these moments that in The Last Jedi that like the shitty fanboys on the internet was like, I can't believe they do that, and that you and I watching it are like, holy cow, that's a strong choice. Like, that's awesome. Like, I'm glad to see where this is going.
Yeah.
In this one, they very much feels like, no, it's okay. No, shh. Here.
You didn't like this character, we'll pull him back.
Here, yeah, you didn't like this character, we'll pull him back. Or no, that character did something. We're gonna, it's okay. It's okay. Like, one of the biggest things in The Last Jedi that people were pissed about was Luke throwing away the lightsaber. Yeah. And then and not wanting to be a Jedi and being like, you think I'm gonna face down the entire First Order with a laser sword? Like, that kind of thing. And people are like, well, yeah, that's what you should do. But they checked out there. Yeah. And they don't realize that the character arc of Luke Skywalker is that he realizes that he does need to be that person that does that. Yeah. And he does do that. And the Battle of Crate is an amazing scene. Like, period. It's an amazing scene. Yeah. Visually, from a storytelling perspective, it is.
There are subtle details in it. Subtle details. Second, third watches. Yeah.
It is Ryan Johnson doing the thing that he does where he has a mastercraft in visual storytelling.
Yeah. And that's what that is.
Yes. It is fantastic. And people and dipshits on the internet just forget that. But they want Luke Skywalker to go out there and do the actual sword fighting and not have the pacifist approach. Yeah. Which is what he did. Yeah. It was the pacifist approach where he was able to do what he needed to do and encourage everyone else to move forward.
Yeah, it's one of the most Jedi moments for Luke.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah. It's a great moment. I honestly think, I feel like Rise of Skywalker is it's pandering. It's a lot of pandering. And I kind of, like, am I excited to see Lando again?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Do I wish he was used better?
Absolutely.
Yes. Am I confused as to why certain powers work at some points and not at others? Absolutely.
I was gonna say, given the actor behind Lando, I also understand the slightly more limited use of it.
Yeah. No, Billy's old, and he walks with a cane,
as does the character,
as does Lando. Yeah. But actually, honestly, seeing Billy in the role was more invigorated than I've seen him in con stuff. Yeah. Like, in con stuff, he's starting to look a little bit tired. Yep. And he was invigorated to come back and play Lando. He actually had an interview, a really interesting interview, recently, where they were talking to him about Lando's sexuality.
Yeah.
And he was talking.
Oh, I saw that.
He was talking. Yeah. He was talking about, for those who haven't seen it, he was talking about how he always viewed Lando as kind of having an open sexuality and an open masculinity, where like if something might be considered a bit femme, that's cool. Lando digs it. Like, and somebody told him that, well, that's how Donald Glover took the role in the Solo movie. And he goes, he hadn't seen it. Yeah. And he goes, really? Wow, that's great. I'm so glad he did that. And it's like, it's because, and I really appreciated that.
Yeah,
that little thing as both an actor and somebody who loved the character. But yeah, like, I don't know. I felt they were able to do their best they could with Leia, given Carrie Fisher's
limitations. Yeah,
untimely passing.
Which there's a little tribute scene to her that is great, though.
Yeah, there is. And it gives you all of these little moments that it's just like, if it didn't fall so far short in some aspects, it would be a great movie because it ties up a lot of things from both a storytelling perspective and from a fan perspective. You wanted this thing, it's a thing that goes all the way back to A New Hope. Yeah. Here, you get it now.
It's got a lot of nods to 5 of the other movies.
Yeah.
Well, 4.
4. Yeah.
The original trilogy.
Yeah. And well, it's got
Force Awakens.
got some nods to the cartoons.
Yeah.
And like but the thing is that it feels that movie should have been 4 hours long.
Yeah.
With all of the things that they were trying
Especially
to
just
do.
Spread out that first act.
Right? Yeah, that's the thing.
You managed to take a meditation scene and make it feel overstressed.
Yeah.
Like,
and there's an entire part in the second act where it was like, oh my God, we saw this this clip from the trailer.
Yeah.
And I was like, and then the scene was done and I was like, oh, that was it? Oh, okay.
Yeah. And for me, the bounty hunters are not the bounty hunters. The Knights of Ren are my new bounty hunters. They're the characters I want more of. Like, I want those characters seen more, even explored more.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they just kind of existed.
They're really cool designs.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same with Snoke's guards in the
the Red Guard.
Yeah. Like, they're cool designs and they're underutilized.
Yeah. Shit, I felt like Snoke's guards were used more than the Knights of Ren were. Considering that we'd heard all about the Knights of Ren in the previous 2 fucking movies. Yeah. And then they're kind of here in this one.
They show up in one battle in a dark scene.
Yeah, and the rest of the time it's just them standing around menacingly.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like, okay, cool. But you know what? It gives all the stuff that people want to see the end of. And there are things that I genuinely enjoyed about it. I think it needs to be 4 hours long.
Yeah.
If with all of the things that they tried to accomplish and things that they tried to do. I kind of want to
dig out the novelization just to see if it gets into more details on
right? It. Yeah.
Because most of the previous ones have.
And I guess a lot of the things they really put a lot into the supplemental stuff, like the books in between. Like Chuck Wendig is an amazing writer.
Yeah.
He wrote 3 books for Aftermath.
Yeah.
And apparently a lot of the shit that he goes into in that
shapes the universe.
Yeah. And I haven't read all of them. I've read the first one.
I haven't read all of them
I read the first one.
I realized I got far more into the Legends universe than I have the modern universe, and I realized what part of the difference is.
The modern universe feels like homework?
No.
What?
The Legends universe, I was a teenager with disposable income.
And extra time.
I put a lot of money and time into those books.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, same. Yeah, that's
I had very limited internet. I had, I was kind of out in the country, but I could buy books.
Yep, totally.
Yeah,
that makes sense. For me, it's it feels a little bit like homework.
That's fair.
Like it has the homework effect. And
Yeah, because I mean, at that point, that was all I was getting.
yeah, yeah. That was like there were no more Star Warses.
There were the occasional game.
Yes, yeah. In 1998, you know, yeah. Star Wars was done.
Yeah,
We'd gotten the closest thing we'd gotten to that was a re-release, and then there was the occasional video game,
and we had books,
some comics.
Knights of the Old Republic. I didn't even get into the comics that much.
I read the comics.
A lot of comics were not on my radar in Wenatchee because
Wenatchee.
We had Hastings for comics.
Yeah.
Well, I guess there might have been comics in the game store that sold all the Pokemon, but I never went in there.
Hastings, rest in peace.
Yeah. So we had books, Knights of the Old Republic, the Jedi Academy trilogy of games.
Yeah.
That's it.
I had. Don't forget Shadow of the Empire.
All right. So. Yeah.
Yeah. Again, a video game.
I didn't play Shadows of the Empire.
Oh,
I read Shadows of the Empire.
I played it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dash Rendar, man, cool character. Kind of wish they'd.
There were a lot of cool characters in that one.
But I understand why they wouldn't bring him in. He's kind of a Han Solo knockoff.
Yeah.
Like even his ship was kind of looks like the Millennium Falcon, but isn't the Corellian cruiser.
Yeah.
You know. But yeah. It's yeah. There's a lot of things about Rise of Skywalker that they do to neatly tie up a lot of things.
The universe. Well,
a lot of things.
Arc.
The arc, yeah. And I can understand them being done.
Yeah. I mean, I can set definitive points in it that this is why this series is done.
Yeah.
But I get spoiler if I do, so.
Yeah. I still love Poe Dameron. I think he's one of the best characters. I think he took a step back in this one.
Yeah.
I feel like
they abandoned some of his growth from.
They abandoned a lot of his growth.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they abandoned a lot of, yeah. Like I said, it feels like a big subtweet.
I'm now starting to wonder if you could almost, I hate to say it, but Phantom Menace Last Jedi because of this.
What do you mean?
Like, could you just go Force Awakens to Rise of Skywalker?
Why
like in watching order?
In watching order? No, because then you wouldn't know who some of the characters are. You wouldn't know how Snoke died. You wouldn't.
True. Yeah.
Like you can't.
That's fair.
Phantom Menace has zero effect on the rest of anything else,
other than just making the relationship creepier.
Yeah.
Which the actors compared to the novelization of that make it even creepier too.
Yeah. I would like to say, the reason people skip the Phantom Menace is because it's hot fucking garbage
with a couple good characters. Yeah.
The Last Jedi, I would not.
No,
that's why you see why I was so taken aback.
No,
by
I'm
that.
I'm trying to think like, did they keep anything? I guess they kept small. They did keep things from it.
Yeah, they had to.
Yeah,
but like,
I'm not saying you should. I'm saying
no.
What all did they?
Honestly, I feel more like I kind of want. After seeing Rise of Skywalker, I was like, maybe we redo this one. Try again, guys.
Slow down the beginning at least.
Yeah, slow it down.
How old do you assume Padme and Anakin are in?
Padme was like 16 and Anakin was like 10.
From watching the movie, how old would you assume?
About 16 and 10.
14 and 9.
14 and 9. Yeah. So I'm not far off.
I mean, it's 5 years.
Yeah.
But the actors who played it are much further.
Oh, yeah, no. Natalie Portman was like
20-something.
Was like 20-something. And Jake
was like 10.
It was like 10, yeah.
I think that's part of why it comes across as even creepier.
In the movie, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a. I feel kind of like the Star Wars saga goes out with a whimper instead of a bang.
I mean, I really enjoyed the movie, but it definitely.
I feel a little bit Game of Thrones with it.
I'm not on that level.
Oh, a little bit.
I mean, I think
where it's like these are really great moments, but overall it's just kind of like.
I feel like they could. Yeah. For a lot of the hype they put into this didn't add to like a lot of what you're expecting going into it from the trailers and the hyping.
Yeah,
isn't necessarily what you got from it.
Yeah, and I try not to do that. Like I've had Star Wars muted on social media for a while.
I mean, There was one creepy motherfucker in who's supposed to be a creepy motherfucker.
Yeah. But
like, I think that character, for what they did with it, actually did really well.
Yeah,
There was some.
Without getting into spoilers, I want a lot more.
That's fair.
I feel like this was so trying hard to be like, we're going to pander to those fucking annoying loud ass fanboys that they had to redid a lot of the character growth and lessons from The Last Jedi.
You know why feels like it'll be 4 hours? It's not just Return of the Jedi. It is Empire through Return of the Jedi.
It's because, and a lot of that growth that we had in, like, here's the thing, is there's a scene in this which is similar to a scene with Luke on Dagobah.
Yeah.
We had that scene in The Last Jedi.
Yeah.
We had that scene for Rey. Like, she has that scene again in this movie.
Well,
but we had that scene in The Last Jedi.
Look where the characters are in the beginning of this movie.
Yeah.
Look where the characters were at the beginning of Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, it's the same.
Yeah.
Same. And
we go through this whole epic arc. There's the failure in the middle, and then we build back up, and the characters are redeemed.
And here's the thing, is that we had all that with The Last Jedi.
Yeah.
We had all of it.
Yeah.
It was done.
It even hit with the low note, and like, I don't want to say low note, but
the kind of the
somber ending.
Yeah. We had all that, and it felt like, and this was like, no, we need to do it again.
Mm-hmm.
And that's probably why the first half of the movie is so fucking just like,
go,
because we have to get all this shit in, and it's not necessary. It also feels like a lot of the characters took a step back.
Yep.
Because they redid a lot of the shit. Because, again, they're pandering to that fucking lowest common denominator, dumb shit, fanboy, loud-ass motherfucker on the internet.
There's an item in the beginning of this that could have been easily just slightly tweaked to solve a lot of what this whole story arc is.
Yeah.
And would have been a completely reasonable tweak.
Yeah. There's a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot. Yeah, overall, I'm just kind of like, I feel Game of Thrones with it.
That's fair. Yeah.
That's how I feel.
Yeah.
Where it's like, there's a lot of great moments. Overall,
it's 2 movies mashed into one.
It's disappointing. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. Which is, needless to say, it will not be making
top 10.
My top 10 list this year.
Yeah.
Let's go through music, since we can do that. I'll go through my music. You think about it.
Yeah, because my brain is now completely blanking, of course.
Mine will be out of order because there is no order to it, really. We're gonna switch over a little bit. My favorite albums of this year, which I'll go ahead and start with the one that I've been listening to the most recently, which is should be utterly unsurprising to you. It is Titus Andronicus.
Completely unsurprising.
Yeah, they had a new album this year called An Obelisk. It's really great. It's good. I liked A Productive Cough, which came out last year, but A Productive Cough was very kind of like sideways, like Step Down bluesy kind of thing. This one is very much back to their roots as a garage punk band, and I dug it. I dug it a lot. I'll go through these kind of quickly. We're not going to talk super in depth, and I'm betting some of them will be on your list.
Yeah.
So there's a band called Pup, who came out with an album called Morbid Stuff this year.
I don't recognize it, actually.
It's great. You would actually probably really dig it.
I feel like you've told me about it, and somehow...
And you just kind of like...
You told me about it when we were doing things.
Yeah.
So it's gone.
Yeah. You should listen to it.
It's in the ether.
You should really listen to it.
It's laying somewhere on the floor of the mall.
Yeah.
That thought.
Yeah. Great album. I believe they're out of Canada. Fantastic album. Are you looking at my background?
Actually, I got distracted by the Last Trick or Treats.
Oh, the Last Trick or Treaters. Yeah, if anybody's wondering where these came from, the Last Trick or Treaters, these are by a guy named Randall Milholland, who does Something Positive. This is a series that he did for a while, occasionally still does it around Halloween. It's one of my favorite things. I have a couple prints, and I also have one piece of original art from it, too, that I do not have hung up, of the original watercolor, though. Okay, so other music. Next on my list. I can't believe this fucking came out this year, but it was so early in the year that it's like it feels like it was a long time ago. It was like back in January or February. Otoboke Beaver, the Japanese punk band, all girl punk band. The song is called Itakoma Hits, Itekoma, Itakoma Hits. It's fucking Japanese girl punk. The album is like 25 minutes long, and it's like go go go, fuck you, yeah, go, and I love it. It is awesome. It's fucking peak like hardcore punk. It's great.
Yeah,
it's so great, and it's all these tiny Japanese girls. It's so fucking awesome. And it came out so long ago this year that I'm like, wow, that really was this year. But like I've been trying to like write albums down.
I need to be better
as I was listening to them. Be like, wow, I really like this. I'm with the idea that I would cull it if it got really long.
Yeah,
but it didn't. Just like holy shit, that actually did come out this year. I want to say around the same time it was probably announced. Another album that came out this year that I absolutely loved was You Can't Call Me Al by Jonah Ray. Which is
that one was on my list. So
really, yeah, it's great.
It is.
It's very short. It's only like 20 minutes long.
Yeah,
and it's covers of Weird Al songs. Like it's acoustic punk covers of Weird Al songs.
Yeah.
Jonah Ray, a comedian who might know him as the host of the most recent Mystery Science Theater series. He also he made the album with Zach from Fiddlar and Cody Vadalato from Blood Brothers. They helped him make it, and it's fantastic. It also includes a version of the Reptilicus rap from Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Yeah.
Say, hey, look, there's one that was on both our lists.
Yay.
Yeah, that's great. This one also might be on your list. Taco Cat.
Yeah.
This Mess is a Place.
Yep.
We're biased. We're from Seattle.
Yeah.
They're a Seattle band.
Yep.
We see Leela, their drummer, like literally every week.
She
bartends at the bar by our house. She's great too, by the way.
Yeah.
Leela's amazing.
Yeah.
No, This Mess is a Place is a great next step for Taco Cat. Like we've listened to them for a long time, and the way I've described it is like bubblegum punk.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah,
it's just straight fun.
And This Mess is a Place has a lot of. It's got a lot of that fun like dancey punk vibe, but it's also talks about hard feelings and stuff like that. Yeah. Very, very, I would put it in the same vein as like Paramore's most recent album where it's kind of like it's bubblegummy and fun. And you're like, oh, but this is actually about serious stuff. Yeah. It's great. Another one, I don't think this one will be on your list. Another local band.
Okay.
Helms Ali, Noctiluca.
Nope.
You are aware of Helms Ali. You have seen them with me.
Where?
Lindisfest.
Ah, okay.
They're one of their singers and their guitar player is the guy who owns Bar House in Fremont. He also it's Ben Verellen. He also is the owner and proprietor of Verellen Amplifiers. Okay. Great album. It's kind of on the more doom metal side of things. Yeah. Strong, very, very strong instrumental. Like there's vocals to it, but very, very strong instrumental, very, very strong instruments, I guess is the best way to put it. Yeah. They know how to play. They know what they're doing. They're not creating a hook and playing it. They're people who know how to play their instruments to drive forward a feeling in the song. Yeah, which is great. I'm expecting this will be on a lot of people's lists this year. This next one might be on yours. Tool. Yeah. Fear Inoculum.
Yeah.
Is that on yours?
It is.
Yeah, I had a feeling. So we have 3.
Oh, we've covered about half what I have on my list, I think, at this point.
Yeah. As I say, I bet we'd have a couple. Fear Inoculum. Fucking. I mean,
off the top of my head, I have 4 more that I know you haven't mentioned yet. So.
Okay, so we'll see. I only have 1 more after this.
Okay.
Fear Inoculum, great. It's Tool, man. I was worried because some other albums had come out from like A Perfect Circle and Pussifer, and I was kind of worried about the new Tool album because the albums from fucking Perfect Circle and Pussifer fucking sucked. I hated them. They were like bad enough to the point where I had to tell Spotify to not play it for me.
I mean, they get mixed in some, but I don't think I've sat down and really listened to them as much.
I tried to, man. I tried to listen to the most recent A Perfect Circle album, and I couldn't.
Oh, Perfect Circle. I'm doubtful on that one.
I want to say that came out last year, but I could be wrong.
Probably.
2018. Yeah. It was rough. It was like I didn't like it.
Yep.
So when, they announced like there's a new Tool album coming out, I was like, "Oh god. Please. It's been 10 years. Over 10 years."
Yeah. I mean, for some reason in my brain, early on, I always associated like Tool and 9 Inch Nails.
15 years. 15
Back
years.
in the 90s, Tools and 9 Inch Nails because they went together in my brain.
And
9 Inch Nails is definitely...
Tool, 9 Inch Nails, and Stabbing Westward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But out of that, Tool versus 9 Inch Nails, 9 Inch Nails is definitely held on the better.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Tool, like you go back and listen to the old Tool albums, they're still fucking great.
Yeah.
Like I still love 10,000 Days. A lot of people go back to like Anima. Anima's great, but like 10,000 Days is a seminal album for me, which was the last album they released before Fear Inoculum, and it was almost 15 years ago, I want to say.
Yeah.
I think it was 2005, 2006 that it came out. It was like my senior year of high school when 10,000 Days came out. So when Fear Inoculum came out, and I was like, oh my, like it immediately took me back to, this is a fucking Tool album. And I appreciated that they were able to maintain that same feeling.
Yeah.
Years and years and years later, which is...
that is both a blessing and a curse for some bands.
I mean, we've talked about this before. Like, if it's Taking Back Sunday, they better fucking sound like Taking Back Sunday.
Yeah.
But some bands even want growth.
I also feel like when you get a decade, it can go either way. I mean, there's definitely bands where you get an album every year, 2 years.
Yep.
Where you see that evolution along the process.
Yep.
And I think that changes a lot too.
Yeah. Yeah, and if they would have been too different, then it would have...
Green Day.
Yeah. Well, and I think that
I mean, American Idiot was a little bit of a variation for them.
Yeah. I think that Maynard gets his I want to do other types of music out with like Pussifer and A Perfect Circle.
Which, I mean, that's a great way to do it though.
It's like it's a different band.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of carryover between the two bands, but they're a different band.
We've known there's other artists who they do the occasional side project or one-off, and I mean,
exactly. Fuck, like think about like Henry Rollins. Henry Rollins versus Black Flag.
Yeah,
is very different.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's just an example off the top of my head. Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross versus 9 Inch Nails.
Yeah,
it's a great example. But okay, moving on. Caravan Palace is my last one.
Oh, I forgot that came out this year.
Yeah, Chronologic.
Good one.
It's a great album.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic album. Got to go to their tour with my brother this year. It was so much fun, as always. They continue to make really fun, danceable, fucking great music.
Yeah.
Like it's Caravan Palace is French electro swing, which is delightful. Yeah, they're from Paris. And their music is swing music with electronica.
Yeah,
it's great. It's so much fun. It's fun to see if you get a chance to see them live. It's one of the most fun live shows you'll ever go to.
Yeah.
And yeah, Chronologic continues for them to continue making great music. Yeah. Okay. I think that's my list.
I run into a challenge with my list every year.
Yeah.
I've been getting a lot of new music from coworkers.
Yeah.
Which I'm sitting there looking at albums like, okay, that was 3 years ago, 2 years ago, 5 years ago, 24 years ago.
Yeah. No, there's a couple this year that I ran into and I was like, wow, this is fucking great. It came out in 2008.
Yeah. Second one I run into, singles and EPs.
Mm-hmm.
And
I straight ignored them.
I do too. I'm trying to for this, but I realize more and more I've seen more and more of that from hip hop.
I mean, technically, you can't call me Al as an EP.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I'm getting 2-3 song EPs.
yeah.
Yeah. So that I have listened to a lot of great music.
Yeah.
And you mash it down to albums, it's a lot less.
A lot less.
I'm gonna go start with one that I know is not on your list because you don't really like the artist. Professor Elemental.
I'm not familiar.
Chap Hop.
I
know you've heard it. You've turned it off before.
Oh, it's not ringing a bell.
Chap Hop is it definitely shows up in steampunk culture a lot. It's this chap, like chaps, like gentlemen, English gentlemen.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Professor Elemental, Professor, and Mr. B are the two most famous ones.
Okay. Yeah, it's not ringing a
Not
bell
at all
on my
for
brain.
you.
Yeah.
Oh no, I know this isn't on your list. 0%.
It's not like I was like Chap Hop, and I was like, wait, are you getting like? I was like, is that some sort of weird?
It's not the same as hick hop.
Like, well, and I'm like, is that some sort of weird Britishism? Because I was like,
yes, it is.
You mean like grime? Because I like grime.
This is.
Like, can we talk about Dizzy Rascal and Professor Green?
Absolutely. Which Dizzy just got featured on someone else recently.
Yeah, he just got featured on another song.
Yeah.
And we were literally walking by the Mopop, and I was like, is that Dizzy fucking Rascal
like,
coming
yeah.
out of the speakers? Like, it is.
I knew he'd been featured on someone. That was the first time I actually heard this song.
Yeah, you don't hear it a lot in America.
No. No, Chap Hop is very different than grime.
Okay.
Yeah. It's Cockney versus whatever the upper class like.
Just, Upper London.
Yeah. Upper London versus Cockney. I mean, it's very different.
It's the fancy street in London versus the not so fancy street in London.
Yeah, and it's also leaned a lot more into the. I mean, it's also far more absurd and bizarre than grime.
Okay. Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Okay.
Professor B has a song about not keeping it real because real is boring. It's eclectic. It's weird. It's out there.
Sure.
Second one, which I don't know if it's on your radar at all or not. Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds.
Yeah.
Ghosteen.
I love Nick Cave. Nick Cave's awesome.
And Ghosteen was an incredible album.
I'll check it out. I'll add it to my.
Part of what's cool about it is it's a bit of a concept.
Yeah.
The concept is, if you're a parent who wishes you outlive your children, what happens when you do?
Ooh. Okay. Yeah. I dig Nick Cave. Nick Cave's awesome.
Tyler the Creator, Igor.
I just haven't listened to it.
Oh, it's a good album.
I dig Tyler the Creator. I just haven't had a chance.
Yes.
I just haven't listened to it.
And that's the thing is I have other ones on here. Like I started looking at this and I'm like, oh, I completely missed that. I should probably. But
like Caravan Palace.
yeah. My last one is one of the biggest breakout artists of the year, Billie Eilish. Where do we go when we fall asleep?
Billie Eilish. That should be on my list too. That album is fucking fantastic.
When we all fall asleep, where do we go? Yeah.
Yeah. That album is amazing. Billie Eilish is dope as hell.
So those are the four that I know are on my list. That
Yeah. Did you see that thing on the internet where people were like getting upset at Billie Eilish for not knowing who Van Halen is?
that's the shittiest thing.
It's
too.
like she's a 19-year-old fucking girl. They haven't had a hit in the time since she's been born.
I mean, and this is like I challenge people to name a single K-pop band.
I can name a couple, but
Exactly, but they're also selling bigger. They're selling more than Van Halen ever did.
yeah.
Like-
I also, for the record, I think K-pop needs to fucking stop.
Yeah.
K-pop fans are worse than K-pop fans. I would arguably say are worse than the shitty Star Wars fans.
Are they worse than Homestuck fans?
Yes, I would arguably say that on the internet at least, K-pop fans are the worst.
Yeah.
But
I mean, like,
because they get to the point of obsessive that is worrisome.
I have artists who I didn't listen to this year who've made it on the list past, like Taylor Swift. I didn't listen to the new album this year, and it just didn't
I heard a
hit the
couple
radar.
songs from it. It's okay.
Kanye West's new album did not hit my radar.
Kanye West's new album is fucking awful.
Yeah, but like Bon Iver had a new album this year, and I just kind of missed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Big Thief did too.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, there's a lot of stuff that we probably just kind of missed.
And I think, I'm going to always argue for it, that part of that comes down to where my radar is at is influenced by what I'm into at this point.
Yeah.
If I miss things, I miss things. If I forget things, I forget things.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm looking at my top 10 albums of the year, it needs to be things that stick with me, so I need to remember them.
Yeah.
If they're not within the scope I'm looking at, I might miss them.
Yeah.
I'm not here to survey all of music.
It's what's in my...
You don't pay me enough to survey all of music.
I'll pay you anything.
Exactly. And yeah, it really comes down to what's in my scope.
Yeah. And you did have one that should have been on my list, which was Billie Eilish.
I would argue Nick Cave probably too.
I haven't listened to the Nick Cave album.
Yeah.
I've listened to the Billie Eilish album.
Yeah.
Like, it should be on my list. I just forgot to write it down because I forgot to write it down.
Yeah.
But I did when I listened. Even the first time I listened to it, I was like, fuck, this is an amazing album.
I have, going back to scope, out of my 4 albums, I have one that you probably won't really care for, Professor Elemental. I have one you heard but forgot, and I have 2 you probably should have listened to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. All right. Do you want to move on to movies?
I guess.
Okay. Do you have your movie list?
Nope. I'm pulling up the calendar.
Boyd, I even told you we
I
were
know.
talking about it this week. How dare you?
Like,
I saw more movies than you did this year.
you
too.
did, which you do most years.
Yeah, I know, but like a considerable amount more this year.
I mean, I have 3 on my bad list.
We're not going to talk about it though.
Okay.
Yeah, we're just going to go with good.
We're going to ignore Dark Phoenix.
I mean, we're just going to let's concentrate on the things that we liked.
Okay.
Like, let's not put out negativity into the world more than we do already.
Yep.
Let's concentrate on the things we like. I'm going to go with my honorable mentions first.
Go with it.
Like, honorable mentions, one of which I was like, that came out this year. Again, beginning of the year. Shazam.
Yeah.
Goes on to my honorable mentions. It is a lot of fun. It still falls into a couple of the DC traps of like, it's dark, we're going to have a big battle.
Yeah, but it's one I'll watch again. I've watched more than once.
Yeah, and it's fun. It's a lot of fun. It's a fun movie.
It's in my top 2 DC movies currently.
Wonder Woman?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you said that.
I think it's in my top 3. Sorry.
What's
Aquaman.
Aquaman? Yeah. Aquaman's at 3.
Yeah. I mean, and I think Shazam and Aquaman run the same thing where the character is great. Like, I really enjoy Shazam. I really enjoy Aquaman. There's some questionable stuff around them.
I would argue that's more apt for Aquaman than it is for Shazam. Shazam's a lot smaller scale.
I mean, it's a teenager.
Yeah. Yeah. Other honorable mentions, Ready or Not,
Yeah.
which you didn't see.
No.
Great, like
It was
fun,
on my radar, but just didn't happen.
Yeah, fun horror movie. Like Adam Brody steals the scenes in it. Us is on my honorable mention list.
Oh, it was this year.
Yeah. It didn't strike me the same way that Get Out did. It's still a great horror movie. Great horror movie. And also on my honorable mention is Jay and Silent Bob reboot.
Yeah.
Mostly because it is a movie made for me.
I want to throw one. I as I'm making my list in my head right now.
Yep.
I have one honorable mention I want to throw out there because it's not a great movie, but it's so much fun. Hobbs and Shaw.
Hobbs and Shaw. So here's the thing: is like for me, it has to be something that resonates with me on a level.
Yeah.
So Hobbs and Shaw didn't do that for me.
Okay.
It's fun.
It is.
It didn't resonate with me on the level that the other ones did.
Like, I'm looking at Hobbs and Shaw and like thinking about it. It's for rewatchability, for enjoyment. It outranks a lot of the other movies this year.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fun.
And partially because I knew what it was going into it. I wasn't expecting greatness, and
Yeah.
that makes it great.
Yeah. I do have a top 10 list though. And
Okay, let's go through your list and see if I have anything to add.
I did number them too.
Ooh.
So I thought about this yesterday. Number 10, you didn't see.
I did not.
Crawl.
Yeah.
Crawl is it's one of those ones that came out of nowhere and surprised me with how much I enjoyed it. It's a great horror movie. It's a great survival movie. Like, it's a thriller. It's fantastic. It's well put together. It's a simple story. It's everything about it works. And it was one that we saw the trailer for, and I was like, really? And it surprised the shit out of me, and it is easily on my top 10 for the year. Number 9, Avengers Endgame.
Okay, that mentally ranks higher for me.
It goes at number 9 for me. It'll make sense as I go more through my list.
Okay,
because it's the culmination.
it is.
It is, and it gave us those moments that we wanted. Those
And
moments
unlike
that we
some
needed.
culminations this year, it did a really good job with it.
You're right. Yeah, we had 3 things end this year:
What's the third?
Game of Thrones,
Oh, right.
Avengers. You didn't watch Game of Thrones.
My brain also just thought movies.
Avengers and Star Wars.
Yeah.
Avengers is the only one to stick the landing. 1 out of 3 ain't bad.
I mean, I don't think Star Wars fell face first in it.
No, Game of Thrones face planted.
Star Wars stumbled in their landing.
Star Wars stumbled in their landing. They took a couple steps.
Yeah. The Russian judge is going to get him for that one.
No, Avengers Endgame was this culmination of 10 years of work on it, and it gave us all of these things that we needed, and it set up to move forward, and if for no other reason than it gave me Cap wielding Mjolnir.
Also, I think also part of that is Avengers had an advantage over the other two going into it. It had one competent person behind the overall vision the entire time.
That's true.
Yeah.
Kevin Feige.
Yeah. Star
Wars does too. It's just they are also owned by the. Well, I know.
Well, even overall.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, they do.
Not overall.
Yes, they do.
Not over the 9 movies.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Not over the 9 movies. Over the past
3?
5.
Well, of the main core.
Yeah. Kathleen Kennedy.
Yeah.
And she's been involved since the originals.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right.
And
not over the entire arc.
Game of Thrones. I include the word competent for a reason.
It's true. It's accurate.
Yeah.
No, Avengers Endgame, number 9 for me. Number 8, John Wick Chapter 3.
That's definitely on my top 10 list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the more they build out this world and the more that they give to us, like we have said over and over again, as long as they continue making John Wick movies, we will continue to see them.
Most likely.
Yes.
I mean, they could probably find a way to fuck it up.
Probably.
I know exactly how to do it.
Yeah.
John Wick, starring Kevin Sorbo.
Well, and here's the thing: is it's not like one of those things where it's going to go to
direct to DVD,
or direct to VOD. Well, it's VOD now.
Or I mean, if they replace John Wick, that's a problem too. Yeah.
No, John Wick Chapter 3. It's again I appreciate that over the course of this story, it's taken place over about a month.
Oh, I guess it was a month. Yeah.
Ish now.
This is definitely
maybe a couple months now.
As far as timelines go, this is the longest of the 3.
This is the longest of the 3.
Yeah.
Like the first 2 are over the course of a week.
The first one's over like a day.
Yeah, the first one is like 3 days.
Yeah. Which he doesn't sleep for.
Yeah. And then I think the second one is another couple days.
Yeah.
So I think it's like a week.
Yeah.
And then
this has got a lot more traveling around and moving, so it's got a lot more time in there.
Yeah.
He's not just teleporting to places.
Yeah. So maybe this one's like a month.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's great though. Mm-hmm. It's still great. Number 7, Dr. Sleep.
Yeah.
Dr. Sleep is there on my list because it seamlessly blends Kubrick's Shining and Stephen King's book and and makes it so that we are visually able to reminisce with the story with the original movie.
Yes.
While maintaining the changes while maintaining everything from the book. And apparently, so the movie was 2.5 hours long. Mm-hmm. Apparently, they're releasing a 3-hour one on DVD, Blu-ray.
Interesting.
I will be watching that because I feel like there's more that I want to see.
They took a risk with that one that I think absolutely paid off, and is not taking that risk has failed some movies.
They replaced the actors.
Yes, with just similar looking ones.
Similar looking people.
They didn't just try to CG them into existence.
Yes. Yeah.
And I think it worked wonderfully.
It did.
It helps that their haircuts are so iconic.
Yeah, the haircuts are iconic, so it stayed there. The only thing is that the woman they got to play his mom.
Yeah.
Her teeth are not nearly as fucked up as Shelley Duvall's.
Maybe she got dental surgery after.
Or is huge.
Yeah. I mean, of the three, the one that was actually the hardest for me was Jack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was Jack Torrance. Yeah.
Just because
it's Jack.
Yeah.
It's Jack Nicholson.
It's such an iconic actor.
But they did a good job.
They did.
And I think you're absolutely right. That works.
Yeah.
And the fact that they committed to it and didn't try to apologize for it.
Yeah. Like, I think it was a better choice than bringing in someone who looks similar and CGing him to look like it.
Yeah, and having him do an impersonation.
It was also better than youngifying him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Especially Nicholson after this long.
Yeah, well, Jack doesn't act anymore. He has some problems.
Yeah.
But it's, it's great. Rebecca Ferguson is fantastic and spooky. Ewan McGregor has the amount of pathos that he brings to the screen is so great.
And it is definitely a different story than Shiny and wonderfully done.
Yes, while maintaining
what the
Shiny is. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
Number 6, you didn't see. Can you guess?
I was just looking a minute ago and I thought, oh, that's going to be Chris' list and I didn't see it. Which one was it? JoJo.
Not at number 6.
Okay.
Number 6, Midsummer.
That was the other one that I knew was on the list that
I
hadn't seen.
Fucking Ari Aster, man, continues to make amazing. I have a lot of horror movies on mine this year.
I mean, I managed with Midsummer. You managed to bear with it.
It took me a sec. I was like, bear. Oh, shit. If you've seen Midsummer, you know that.
I haven't seen it, but I know enough spoilery stuff.
We are going to go long today, by the way.
Whatever.
Yeah. That's why I wanted to talk Star Wars
I don't think we're until tomorrow.
Yeah, I know, right? I have to be somewhere at 6 p.m.
Hopefully we don't go that long.
Yeah.
Welcome to our 6-hour podcast.
We're both at the end just like, we have to pee.
I can ramble while you go pee. You ramble while I go pee.
Yeah. No, Midsummer, Ari Aster continues to make...
If I knew we were doing 6 hours, I would have made a bigger coffee.
Yeah. Continues to make fantastic, truly like fuck with you level horror.
Mm-hmm.
Like Hereditary is a journey, and Midsummer is like just it is emotionally wrecking. Like it's scary, but more from like emotionally at the end of it, you're just like, yeah. It's great though. Highly recommended. It's beautifully made. The thought that goes into it is from both a storytelling to visual to like the moments where they use CG, the moments they don't, there is practical effects. It's everything about it is just, not to mention Florence Pugh's performance is just so good and just destroys you. Yeah, great movie. Number 5 might be on your list. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yes.
And I have a reason for that. My reasoning is, I mean, it's fun. It's a great fun movie. However, it's something that we talked about when we reviewed it.
Is it the fact he's 64 and still has abs like that?
No.
Okay. I guess he's 54. But
54. Still. Yeah, Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
He will have abs like that at 64. It's annoying.
The man also has the time to work out.
That's true.
Yeah.
No, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, we talked about this. It's something that Star Wars didn't do. It took time to breathe.
Yeah.
And it took time to give you, like, here's the thing, is that the beginning of most of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood has that same jumping around that Star Wars has in that first act. But it took the time.
But it's the 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, not 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
You actually leaned over me at the beginning of Star Wars and goes, is that your leg shaking? And like, no, it wasn't. It was someone else getting the same frenetic energy.
Yeah.
I briefly tried breathing in time with the movie, and it was not good.
No. Well, like our entire row was shaking.
And it wasn't me this time.
Yeah, I know, right? That's why I asked you. But yeah, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Like, is that on? Would that be on yours?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's just...
I'm partially just going to go through your list and see what ideas I have. I'm going to ask you a couple at the end and see why they weren't.
Okay.
We'll see what you get through.
Yeah. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, though. Great
right.
movie. Cuatro.
Number 4.
You did not see this in theaters either.
Is it what I guessed earlier?
Nope.
Okay.
It is one that Ashley and I went and saw. Booksmart.
Yeah.
It is on Hulu now.
It is. I saw an ad for watching Hulu with Ashley last night.
You should watch it. It's great.
Yeah. She's going to make Tom's little brother watch it this week with her.
Oh, good. When he's back in town.
He's back in town now, apparently.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. But Midsummer is... not Midsummer. I just looked at Midsummer on there. Booksmart.
Midsummer is a heartwarming coming-of-age story.
Yeah, no, Booksmart is probably out of like... I like coming-of-age stories.
Yeah.
I do. I genuinely do.
Yeah.
I also like reading... I also like young adult novels. Yeah. So, like, I just like those stories. Mm-hmm. But Booksmart takes that coming-of-age story and kind of drops it into a new perspective. A lot of people... Like the best way I've seen it described is it's like super bad, but for girls.
Yeah,
and it's a good way of describing it. It's not 100% accurate, but it's a good way of describing it, and it's really truly this great story of it is about these two girls, but it also has this great ensemble of characters around the outside of them.
Yeah,
of these people who are people that you know from high school. Mm-hmm. And it felt very real. The only thing that didn't feel real to me, and we talked about this before, is that they scored you can tell this was written before the new SATs, because the SATs were still scored out of 1,600.
Yeah.
They're now scored out of 2,400.
Yeah, my brother and I got the same scores on the SATs.
That's not good for you. No, it's not good for him.
I'm the older one.
That's right. It's not good for him. Because I took the new SAT. I was the first year.
Yeah. I was the old one.
And these people are the kids in this are supposed to be graduating in.
So hopefully your score is higher than mine.
Yeah, the one in this year they're supposed to be graduating in 2019. So
I actually remember my SAT score. 1508.
Nice.
Yeah,
not bad. It's too bad your grades were shit.
My SAT scores were amazing. My
GPA
ACT was even more amazing.
Yep.
My ASVAB was fucking amazing. Military harassed me for years because of that one.
Yep, never took that
my
one.
GPA, I think left the drink just sipped through that moment.
His GPA looked like that glass. There's something there. Not a lot.
I had a 1, a 5, a 0, and 2 zeros in my SAT and my SAT score. I had the same in my GPA.
What's Titus has this great joke of in one of his specials of his dad liked to look at his report card and go, let's sound it out. He goes, duh.
I would pronounce that as fucked. I had the worst too. Parent-teacher conferences in the fall were always my birthday week. Guess what day my mother usually went to conferences?
On your birthday?
Yes.
That sucks.
I'm wondering how many presents were returned.
That's why you got dirt. But no, Booksmart in general is first of all, it's a great movie for Olivia Wilde to come out and have on her belt. But it is also just a really, really well-made movie. It has a lot of heart. It has a lot of love. And has a killer soundtrack. Great movie. Fantastic. It deserves to be on everyone's top 10 list this year.
Yeah.
Number 3, you also didn't see.
Is this what I guessed earlier?
It is. It is Jojo Rabbit. The new one from Taika Waititi.
Yep.
Is just a beautiful story. A lot of love. A lot of humor. I never thought I would love a movie about Nazis so much. Schindler's List.
No, Indiana Jones.
Oh, that's true. But that one's not about Nazis. There are Nazis in it.
Which is it? Yeah, Raiders of the Lost Ark, where Indiana Jones is technically useless.
Yeah. Everything that happened was gonna happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was just there. Thanks, Mark Bernardin, for pointing that out.
Yeah.
I believe that was a Mark Bernardin
Probably
noticing thing. Yeah, I think he had a Twitter stream about it. Thread.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. But yeah, Jojo Rabbit, a lot of
Actually,
love, a lot of heart.
Pay attention. He does one. He actually, the only things he actually does help the Nazis.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
He helps them actually find the
Yeah.
well of souls. Yeah.
That's all he does.
Yep. But yeah, no. Jojo Rabbit is a great, beautiful movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny. It's Taika Waititi, so obviously it's got that great dry humor.
Yeah.
A lot of heart to it. A lot of just genuinely good.
Yeah.
Again, highly recommended. Number 2, this might be on your list. A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood.
Oh yeah. That was such a high risk movie. Like there's so much. There's the quote in the trailer. Don't ruin my childhood for me.
Yeah, don't ruin my childhood. And we talked about this, and one of the things that we think, like a lot of people are like, why am I going to go see this? I just watched the documentary. The documentary is amazing. Everyone should watch it. And we talked about this when we reviewed it. Mr. Rogers is not the main character.
Which is beautiful in it. Which is great.
Which is the way it needs to be.
Yeah.
He is a force. He is not the main character.
There are points in Mr. Rogers' life you could do a movie about him.
Yeah, I think
There
if
are
you were
two main ones I can think of.
I was to say, if I were to say one, it would be going to Congress.
Yeah.
What's the other one do you think?
The
Starting
first
the show.
year. Yeah.
Starting the show.
Year 0, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are 2 years, and like
because that's where you get Mr. Rogers to define who Mr. Rogers is.
Yeah, but here's the thing: is that we know if Hollywood made a movie about Mr. Rogers, they'd want to be doing like, we need to do his entire career span.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you need to do like 6 months.
Yeah, because his entire career span is so influential and important that it smooths it out a bit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and you wouldn't be able to have the actual like ups and downs.
And like this movie touches on little like blip details because the interview does too from his past. These stories, and that is enough.
Yeah, and when you view the Mr. Rogers as a character in a movie, Mr. Rogers the man had so much to do with who we are as a society.
Yeah,
in the good ways, not the other ways. In fact, people could do to learn.
We need more Mr.
Rogers right now.
Yeah,
like I think that would be beneficial.
Yeah,
but having him be the character of Mr. Rogers, be more of a force and less of a main character.
Yeah,
he's a force of nature in it. He is the impetus. He is the what moves everything along. He's not. I almost don't view him as a character.
Well, I mean, part of it is he is. At this point, he is sure of who he is. He is confident in who he is. He is solid in that, and that he becomes kind of an anchor point for other characters.
And I think that's what works.
Yeah,
and I think you're absolutely right. It is a high risk movie.
And
if they wouldn't have done that, it could have been real rough.
It could have been dashed upon that rock.
Yeah, a lot of things that are in that movie that were so expertly executed could have been. If there was one little bit off about it, would have been cheesy and dumb.
Well, I think part of it is also by going someone around Mr. Rogers, you can get the compelling storyline.
Yeah. Well, you get the compelling storyline, but like we talked about this, the transitions are in the model city. Yeah. Like when he's flying from New York to
done in the same
to Pittsburgh. Yeah, it's done in that same style.
That rough style.
Yeah. And it is so perfectly executed.
Yeah.
That it works and it's charming. Yeah. One little thing wrong about that, and it would have been cheesy and dumb. Yeah. It's not. It's great. I think that speaks volumes to the care with
for to make the top list.
Put into that movie. Yeah. Can you guess my number one? It is hands down my number one movie.
There's a couple of really good ones that haven't been on your list yet, so I'm gonna. Underground 6.
6 Underground?
6 Underground.
No.
I can't even get that story right.
No.
Everything I've looked through, I'm leaning away from Joker. Right. I'm thinking. I'm looking.
It's one that you saw.
I know. I'm almost wanting to say Toy Story 4. No.
I honestly forgot that movie happened.
You know what else movie I forgot? I knew it had happened, but I forgot it was this year. Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
It's been a long year.
Yes, it has.
Tide Pods for this year.
Jesus.
You already covered Us.
Mm-hmm.
Pet Cemetery? I don't think so.
No.
No, I don't
Nope.
think so.
I'll give you a hint. It's later in the year.
Okay. Because like How to Train Your Dragon was good, but I don't think that's going to make your top 10.
Nope.
I tried to forget that one was this year.
Which
Hellboy.
one? Hellboy? Yeah.
Yeah. Pikachu.
Again, Lion
King was this year.
I don't include anything that there are like a number of movies that I enjoyed.
Yeah.
But unless it actually hit something with me.
I forgot about both Hellboy and Lion King being this year.
Yeah.
Not Spider-Man. Is it Chapter 2?
No.
No, I don't think so. Addams Family?
Nope.
It's not Zombieland. Is it Terminator?
No.
No. We already said not Frozen 2.
Nope.
What am I missing? Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark?
No, dude, we literally just saw this movie.
Not Star Wars.
Knives Out.
Oh, I thought you covered that one already.
Mm-mm.
I looked right over because somewhere from my brain thought you covered that one.
Nope, we didn't talk about it.
Because it wasn't Jumanji either.
Nope.
No.
Jumanji's a lot of fun. I actually should probably put that on honorable mention.
Yeah, okay, sorry. Knives Out was stuck in my brain because I had a joke about it.
Knives Out is my number one.
It's the title sequel to Scott Pilgrim.
That's when she discovers she likes girls.
Yeah.
No, Knives Out is my number one of the year.
Yeah.
It is. I think and it's Rian Johnson. You know, again, a couple of years in a row. Well, I guess he didn't have new Star Wars last year. It was the year before.
Yeah.
But Knives Out is.
It is an incredible.
It is incredibly crafted and written and beautiful and acted, and everything about it is just so meticulously placed to be fun and entertaining and thrilling, and you're like, you think you know what's happening and then you don't. It is, because here's the thing is we can't do whodunits anymore. I was listening to Mark Bernardin was interviewing Damon Lindelof about The Watchmen.
Yeah.
And The Watchmen, the series, which by the way, fantastic. I just finished it. It just finished. It's so good. Everyone should go watch it. It's on HBO.
Yeah.
Series, amazing. But that's one thing. Stuck the landing this year. It was so good. But Damon Lindelof was talking about this being applicable to Watchmen, and he used Knives Out as an example of you cannot, in television especially, you cannot do whodunits anymore.
Yeah.
Because everyone has it figured out by episode 2.
Yeah.
Or episode 3. And we are in a post like whodunit era because the nature of the internet and the way we view entertainment now is that we are trained to find those little details and figure it out. And we can take those, and so like the classic whodunit, that's why The Count of Monte Cristo was ruined for me as a book in general. Yeah. Because I had grown up reading mystery novels and everything like that, and revenge stories, and like reading The Count of Monte Cristo. I fucking knew everything that was gonna happen, and so I didn't enjoy reading it.
But Knives Out
takes that formula and turns it on its head. Because it is a whodunit. But you know who done it.
Well, I think that's part of, like, it's not just a whodunit, it's a what was it? And that's part of what, like, you're getting these unexpected twists and turns because of that. I mean, there are still series that do a fair amount of whodunit, but they are weekly.
They wrap it up in the episode.
Yes.
I mean, yeah, Supernatural.
My mother loves the British ones.
Yeah.
Which are wonderfully campy.
Yes, they are.
Nothing quite like a priest who solves murders every week in a little village.
Yes, exactly.
You start to wonder how many villages are left.
Yeah. My ex used to like these audiobooks about this Scottish dude it was a Scottish PI who was like, he would solve like the murder and there would be 2 cases and they'd always be connected kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And she got angry at me one time. I was like, it's this person when I was listening to the audiobook, and I was like, it's this is who did it. And she's like, you don't know that. But
again, like the ones my mother watched were these little British 1-hour series that every week someone's murdered. And
yeah, well, it's like fucking Jessica Fisher's the one who killed everyone, and she just pegged it on everyone else because there's no way there's all those murders in that small town, and she's not the one who did it.
I can tell you from television, there are multiple towns in England that have that many murders.
Yeah.
Like, you're a village of 80 people. How are 50 people dead?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, what is it?
It's the occasional tourist.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
But
she was down visiting her great uncle, and she was hit by a cricket bat.
But yeah, no, Knives Out takes the whodunit model and flips it on its head.
Yeah.
And in typical Rian Johnson fashion, the dialogue is snappy and fun.
It is.
Each character is a fleshed out, well thought out character. And they like
even characters who only show up for briefly a scene or two.
A couple minutes, yeah. It's there. Everyone is well thought out and well thought through. I can't stop laughing at Toni Collette's character. The fucking Gwyneth Paltrow ripoff.
Yeah.
And it is because it's beautifully done.
It is.
I also really love Toni Collette as an actor. So
it does pick up pieces of like the stereotypes of whodunits and twist them.
And twist them a little bit and put them in different places. Yeah. And it's great.
Like Secret Messages.
Yeah.
That was a brilliant twist with that.
Yeah, it was. There's a secret message. Is it important to the overall storyline? A little bit, but
also how it's done and who knows about it is amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Exactly. And the little hints that they drop throughout. Yeah. Knives Out, hands down, is my favorite movie.
That's completely
of 2019. Who did I miss? What did I miss?
On my honorable mentions, I got 2 animateds. Yeah. I think How to Train Your Dragon was a beautiful end to that series.
It was. It was really good. The second one's still the best one.
That's fair. Toy Story 4.
I truly forgot it existed.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Detective Pikachu.
Fun, not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just looking like, what else do I have that I would consider adding that Curtis has not already covered? Captain Marvel was amazing. I again forgot it was this year.
It's been such a long year. That happened with Black Panther too, because it came out in
this was
like February. This one was in March, and so it's just like
we also had a Spider-Man this year.
Fuck, man. Like I thought Captain Marvel was last year.
So did I.
So I didn't even think about it.
Alita is not on my list.
No.
Glass is going on the worsts.
Yeah. We're not talking about the worst.
I know. Because this is actually a year where I have a decent list of bad movies.
Mine was shorter this year.
Yeah?
Than last year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very briefly mentioned Spider-Man. No, you covered that. Hobbs versus Shaw's my honorable mention. Scary Stories on Dark was just meh.
It's okay.
It Chapter 2 didn't resonate as much with me as the first one.
Nope.
I really enjoyed Addams Family though.
Yeah. It was fun.
Yeah. Don't care about Joker.
Yeah.
Zombieland is Zombieland. Is Zombieland.
I feel like I want to watch that one again because we saw it in such a shitty theater.
That's fair. Like, if I'm going through movies I'm going to watch again, Zombieland is on that list.
Yeah.
Addams Family. Hobbs versus Shaw.
Hobbs and
Shaw.
Yeah.
Next one is Hobbs versus Shaw. We already basically had that.
Jay and Silent Bob Reboot would be on that list for me. Yeah.
A lot of the top 10 stuff. Captain Marvel, I already have watched
multiple times. That's the other reason. I've had it so long on Blu-ray that I assumed it came out last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Knives Out I'll probably watch again even. Oh, God. Just because I want pieces and details.
No, I'm definitely going to watch Knives Out again.
Doctor Sleep I'll probably rewatch.
Yep. You bet your ass I'm going to watch the 3-hour version.
Us, maybe not.
No, yeah.
I mean, that's the thing is I think horror gets a hit more than anywhere. We've had a couple documentaries there too. There are some movies that are really good, like Straight Outta Compton. I have not watched since we saw it in theaters.
And we both own it digitally.
Yeah, it's an incredible movie. But you got to be in a space for that.
Yeah, you got to be in a mindset for it. Yeah.
Or you're introducing someone new to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, whereas I've already rewatched Booksmart since it hit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there is this weird balance of movies I'll watch again and my top 10 best movies don't always line up.
That's true. Yeah. I think it's unlikely I will watch Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood again anytime soon.
Probably not. I mean, it's kind of like Straight Compton. It is not going to be about me watching it again. It's going to be about me showing it to someone.
Yeah. That's a good way of putting it. Jojo Rabbit, I would watch again.
Yeah.
In a heartbeat. I think a lot of mine.
Even like Detective Pikachu, I'll watch again.
But like Crawl, I'm not going to watch again unless I'm showing it to somebody.
Yeah. And I think Pet Sematary, I probably won't watch again until I'm showing someone.
That one, if it was on, I wouldn't turn it off.
That's fair.
That's where I'm at with it.
I also realize a lot of my stuff I'm going to watch again, it also comes down to
Stuff you can turn on while you're working on other things.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hobbs and Shaw.
Hobbs and Shaw.
And so, there is this weird balance of really good storylines and just fun movies because
Yeah. Terminator is one of those ones.
they could go either way.
Yeah.
Same with John Wick.
Yeah. Terminator was good.
It really was.
Yeah. Does it make my top list? It doesn't, but it's good.
It makes for a wonderful trilogy
Yeah.
of Terminator movies.
Yeah. Exactly.
There are like 9 of them. There's 3 you need to watch.
Yeah. T1, T2, and this one.
Yeah.
Dark Fate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's some in there that are just I've put on as background stuff before, but yeah, that kind of rounds it out for me.
Yeah.
Scary Stories, I probably won't watch again,
I probably won't.
and I may not bother showing to anyone.
Yeah. We're getting close to an hour and a half. I did create my favorite movies since 2010 list. I don't know if you did.
I did not.
Do you want me to just run through it real quick?
Run through it real quick.
We'll close out with this.
I'll just say yes or no.
Do you want me to start in 2010 or
Yes.
2019?
No, 10.
2010. This one I had to put a lot of thought into.
Yeah.
2010 goes to The King's Speech.
I have a confession on that.
Not seen it.
Never actually saw it.
You would really enjoy
My
it.
mother and grandmother went to it in Tacoma, but I never got around to seeing it.
I feel like you would really enjoy it. King's Speech is fantastic.
Yep.
2011, this one surprised me. I realized it was my favorite movie that year. Moneyball.
I actually never watched that either.
Yeah. I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
2012 goes to Ryan Johnson. Looper.
Oh, that is a good one.
Looper's my 2012.
I think I watched that in like 2014 finally, but yeah.
2013. No, you came and saw Looper with me in 2012.
Oh, yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2013 movie I doubt would be on your list. The Conjuring.
Nope.
Like, nope, I'm out. Yeah. Honestly, the one that kicked off that entire fucking universe of scary movies, The Conjuring is still top. 2014 goes to Captain America: The Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
That movie is still one of my favorites.
It's a great one.
2015, and arguably my favorite movie of the decade, Mad Max: Fury Road.
Oh, that is a good one. Yeah.
Arguably, it's the one I probably rewatched the most. The original version,
Not the black and white.
I love the blood. I love the Blood and Chrome.
Yeah.
Is what it's called.
Yeah.
But I love it. But Mad Max: Fury Road is just such a masterpiece in filmmaking and storytelling and everything. It's so good.
Which is surprising because the last movie before that was Babe, Big in the City.
Yeah, right. He was supposed to do Justice League.
Yeah.
And then the writer's strike happened.
He probably should have.
Yeah. It would have been interesting.
Yeah.
2016, Kubo and the Two Strings.
Oh, that was a good one.
Yeah.
I'd forgotten about it.
Yeah. 2017, as we get closer to now, 2017, Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah.
Goes to my 27. That one I had to do a lot of thinking about. Like, I realized going back to 2010 that, like, even back then we were seeing a lot of movies. I was seeing a lot of movies.
Yeah.
Like, just in general, because back then we worked right next to the movie theater.
Yeah.
We would just go over there all the time. I think the quality of movies has improved since 2010.
Oh yeah. Well,
I think 2000 to 2010 there was that slump in movie quality.
there's still some pretty bad ones coming out now.
Yeah, that's true. Or maybe that the volume of movies has increased, and that the volume of movies have increased, and so there's a higher rate of good movies.
I mean, I'd also be curious to see how many we've seen a year versus where that factors in. As for a certain level, is I think it's also our accessibility to what theaters we're going to.
That's true.
You're doing a lot like Jojo Rabbit, Booksmart. You're able to get to some of these independent theaters a bit easier now.
Yeah. Yep.
And I think also our awareness of those independents are a little more.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. 2018.
Yeah.
Last year.
Yeah.
Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Oh yeah.
That's the hands down.
Yep.
Best movie of 2018. Not a question. And 2019, we just talked about it. Knives Out.
Yeah. Which congratulations to Marvel hitting 3 of your 9 last decade.
Yeah. Technically Marvel hit 2, Sony hit 1.
Yeah. Congratulations to Stan Lee for hitting 3 last decade.
Stan Lee gets credit for
character creations.
Stan Lee gets credit for Thor and Spider-Man. Captain America is Jerry Siegel and Jim Schuster.
Yeah. Congratulations to Marvel Comics for creating 3.
There you go. I'd say congratulations to Ryan Johnson for being the only director with 2.
That's impressive too.
That I know of.
We have to sit down and do some more research.
Yes. The only director is like Winter Soldier was the Russo brothers, but I didn't list Endgame or the Avengers movies that they did. So, or any of the other, or Civil War. So
yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, it goes to Ryan Johnson in 2012 and 2019.
Well done, Ryan Johnson.
Right?
You've made some random guy in Seattle's top director of the last decade.
Actually, yeah, that's true. Yes. But all right, that's it. This is our last one for this year.
It's our last one for the decade.
Yep. We've talked about this joke.
Walk away.
Yeah. No.
We started. What year did we start?
2014, 15?
No, we started earlier than that, I thought.
No.
You were at the Mac store when we started.
No, I wasn't. I was at Hermanson.
Oh, were you?
Yeah.
How fucking long have I been doing this podcast? I thought we were like 8 or 9.
No, 2012.
Yeah.
2012. Shit.
You've been dedicated to this shit a lot longer than you thought.
God damn.
This has been longer than any of my relationships, jobs, or schools.
Getting close to school.
My longest time in a single school was 6 years.
Oh, I'm just counting your time in college.
Oh, no. Single school.
Yeah, I know, but those 6 years those 6 years of high school might have been tough, but
yeah. No, it was 6 years of middle school.
I was thinking it was 6 years into 3-year high school.
No, we had a 4-year high school, 3-year middle school. What do you mean? It was 6 years in my kindergarten.
Oh, buddy. Just couldn't stop eating paste. On that note, we'll be back. Stop it, for the love of God. We will be back on actually probably the 3rd because Friday the 3rd, given that we'll be back to record on probably Friday the 3rd.
Not the 4th?
I have a thing. So I have fucking D&D at 10 a.m.
Oh, okay.
So like it was the only time that worked for my group.
That's fair.
Otherwise everyone is like gone for most of January. The
podcast will still come out on the 5th.
Yeah, the podcast will come out. But so we'll be back that first weekend of January. We're taking next week off. We hope everyone has a wonderful holiday and a nice New Year. Be safe, have fun, spend time with family if you like them.
Is it eating paste or walking through mud?
For the love of God, stop.
This feels appropriate to end the year with weird noise.
Oh, God. All right, that's it.
Bye, kids.
Bye, kids. Jesus Christ.